Well, hey there, my friends, and welcome back to the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, and I don't know why I am in a super giddy mood, and I don't know why. I'm laughing as I'm trying to start this podcast, and I've been having some fun with this. So let's jump in. Today, I really want to talk to you about the vision for your business, and does the reality of what's happening and what's going on in your shop and what's going on in your store actually match what you want to be happening, your vision for what could be happening or should be happening or you really desire to be happening inside your shop. And I hear this every day. Generally, we have an idea of what we want for our business. We know we want, we picture the customers, we can picture the way the shop feels, the music that's playing, the way our staff is operating, everything's just, how we're spending our day. And we're all excited about all of this original maybe vision or how we are striving to make it happen. And it's not always running that way, right? You probably have a great product and you love your job, you love your store, but there's some things that are just kind of feeling chaotic. This is when I always ask, does your reality match your vision? Is this what you want? Is this how we want it to be? Today, I just wanted to cover a few things that might be out of alignment or out of whack, and maybe some of these things, but this is a really great litmus test to see where things might be out of whack, where they could be better. Because I will tell you right now, when your business isn't running smoothly, when it is running kind of like chaotic and winging it in some areas, there is probably other areas that are some areas that are great. It feels better, it feels easier, smoother, and it's way more profitable. So listen up. I'm going to share a few things today, 4 areas that we talk about a lot over in my Retailers Inner Circle program, and where I like to focus, I call it our retailers ecosystem. And when I talk about that, I'm going to share those 4 areas with you today. So let's jump in. Running a retail business doesn't have to be so hard. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast, the go-to podcast for creative shop owners, studio owners, and independent retailers. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, retail business coach and mentor. Each week, I'll share simple, proven business strategies, inspiring stories from fellow retailers, and advice from industry experts. Together, we're going to work to find the success you want from your retail business with more profits in your till and a little more joy in your life. Okay, the key to a super successful retail business is multifaceted. There's a lot of things, right? We know there's a lot of things that we have to juggle. So I wanted to share with you today my philosophy. I don't know if it's a philosophy, the way that we love to look at retail businesses in my business and how we work with our clients. So inside the Retailers Inner Circle, and many moons ago, Wendy, created Retail Made Simple course. And my Retail Made Simple course was super popular. We put hundreds of people through that. It is now incorporated inside my Retailers Inner Circle program. And it has 4 parts to it. And the 4 parts of that have framed the ecosystem of retail as I teach it, the mythology, if you will, the framework. I don't know what you call it. We don't get fancy around here with those things, but we look at the 4 different areas of retail, again, from my experience, from what I've seen, and how it's easier in my brain, and I think easier in my clients' brains, to sort of compartmentalize this ecosystem. And what happens, and we call it the ecosystem now, the retailer's success ecosystem. And what happens in the ecosystem is if one of them's off balance, it's kind of throwing everything off, right? So it's just like I actually did an entire podcast, which a lot of people kind of joke and make fun of me about because I talk about our business being like a fish tank. But it is, when you have a small fish tank, you can run the ecosystem a little bit differently. You can have one goldfish in one bowl of water and it's fine. Like the water, the air, the food, the fish, all the light, all of that, it works really well. As we grow, as our business expands, as we grow, as we get a little bit better, as we get more efficient, as our business evolves, so does our ecosystem. So do the things that matter. So that's why when a lot of us start our business, we started off with retail business, just sort of winging it. No one is not smart or doing a lot of work, but you can wear more hats, you can do more things when you're a smaller business. As we're evolving and as we're growing, things get a little more complicated. Our staff grows, our inventory grows, our numbers grow, our profits should be growing, our payroll is growing. This is how we evolve, and this is how business operates. And this is where most of my clients are. They're evolving and growing. And what happens is that ecosystem, the retail ecosystem, has to evolve and expand. So that means we have to evolve and expand. We have to learn new things. And we have to make sure that we are not spending too much energy, time, or maybe avoiding some areas. And this is what I see happen. And this is what causes overwhelm. This is what causes, us just like, maybe you're late at night on your computer doing things, or maybe things are feeling chaotic at the counter. Maybe your customer experience is not great. So that is why I love, sort of resharing this. I know we've shared it before in the podcast, but I wanted to reshare it from that framework of remembering that we have to do all the things. It is our job as the CEO, as the leader of your beautiful retail business. It is your responsibility and your job to make sure this ecosystem is in balance. That's what we do. So the first part of your ecosystem is actually you, or the visionary, the CEO, the role of the visionary, the leadership role. And there's a lot of things that fall under our responsibilities. So I'm just going to touch on a few of them. And again, these are the types of workshops and classes and master classes and conversations that I have with my clients, private clients. I have this with inside our retailers inner circle. We have trainings around these things, but we have to make sure that our mindset is good. Nobody wants to talk about mindset, but if we're not fully on board and thinking clearly and, being healthy, I'm a big advocate of our health, making sure that as the leader, and, who thought you were going to come listen to a podcast about retail and I'm going to talk about your health, but if you're not well, your energy is not going to be there. So everything does start with your health. Are you taking care of yourself, your mindset? It's also understanding the future planning and future pacing of your business. That's part of your role, the vision for your business. It's also personal habits. So we need to make sure that we are watching all of the parts of our business, our mindset, our values, future planning our business, understanding our personal habits, our personal skill sets, making sure that we are increasing those, and where we're spending our time. These all fall under the CEO. One of the things that I talk a lot to my CEOs about, to the retailers that I get to work with, is understanding the self-talk, right? That we have a tendency to say, well, I'm not good at numbers, or, I'm not good at, or, stop telling yourself you can't not be good at numbers. It's part of your job. You are totally capable of learning them. It's a choice, right? So we also have to be the one who does, figures out the business decisions. I always say the biz stuff, the operational vision of the business. So there's a lot under our plate, under being the CEO, but it does fall under being the boss and hiring people and training and all of that. So really stepping into that role. And sometimes that's where that ecosystem might be off a little bit. You're not keeping up with those habits. You're not, your mind is not into it. You're in a mood or you're just you're not fully there. And that happens a lot, or you're scattered, or you have a lot going on in your life. So we have to make sure that we are setting up things to help us through that, right? That's where I always say getting healthy, making sure that we're as healthy as we can possibly be in our personal habits, in our business habits, where we're spending our time. All of those things are really important. The next part is understanding and having a full marketing strategy in place. When I say this, people say, oh yeah, well, we do social media. That is not strategy. When we talk about strategy, we need to make sure that we have a full understanding of our marketing role, of the role, how are we marketing our business? This is, how are we doing hospitality and service? Because that's what we do. What's our customer's experience like the full customer experience? What's our visibility strategy to get new customers? What are we doing to nurture our existing customers? What are the tools and the tasks or the tools and the tactics that we're going to use as a brand and what lines up with our brand? Like, is it email? Is it social media? Is it texting? Is it like, what are we going to do to fulfill that strategy? It's also merchandising, in-store sales, learning how to get your team to sell. This is part of my how we teach marketing strategy. It's also understanding what we need to do in store and follow-up store. How do we keep what's our plan to keep customers coming back and keep loyal customers around? How are we staying up to date on social media trends and all of these things? These are the things that are important with making sure that your marketing ecosystem is in place. So this isn't just a matter of, we have to have metrics around this too. We have to, what's your average order value? What's our conversion rate from customers coming in to converting to buyers? Like what are the numbers that we're looking at? What's our footfall look like? What are we doing to measure that? How big is our email list or our text list? These are things that are important but feel overwhelming, but they don't have to be. Like, this is just part of the ecosystem. This is part of our business. And of course, you all know I love to say it's not your job to do everything. So we teach a lot of this inside our Sales Accelerator program and inside of the Retailer's Inner Circle program as well, too. So it's really important to understand your marketing strategy. And again, it doesn't just mean, we're just going to run an ad in the paper. You have to have strategy around why. Why are we doing this? Why are you doing your social media? Why are you doing a podcast? Why are you doing this? Like, why are you donating to this or that event? Anyhow, marketing is a big bucket and it's a big part of the ecosystem, but it's really important. I often joke and say, we're not just retailers, we're marketing. We're marketers, right? You're a marketer first. Your job is to sell. I mean, we have to have the CEO hat on and we have to have the marketing hat on. So the next part of the ecosystem is, and again, think of the ecosystem like a circle and it's going round and round and round. So we're always working on the CEO. We're always working on the marketing. We have a graphic, and I have a graphic that I use regularly when I'm talking about the ecosystem, and we'll make sure we have that in the show notes for you. Okay, so operations, number 3. Operations, or I shouldn't say number 3, but part of the ecosystem where we go around and around is operations and systems. You had that vision for your business. We talked about that earlier. And sometimes when we say that the reality is not matching the vision, it's usually because we don't have systems. We're just kind of like whack-a-moling everything, right? Like something pops up, we figure it out. We're in creative, we're smart, we're just figuring it, but we're reinventing the wheel all the time sometimes. We want our business to be running like clockwork. We want to have a system for that. You know how they say there's an app for that? We want to have a system for that. We want to have a standard operating procedure for everything. How we do returns, how we serve customers, how we answer the phone. We call these shop standards. And that's actually an entire really popular module inside my Retailer's Inner Circle program, because this is where your vision turns into reality, like good reality. It's when the way the shop smells and looks and feels to our clients and to you as well. The right music, the right cleaning, it's getting clean. This is where we put cleaning schedules in place. This is where we teach our staff, whether you're a team of 3 or a team of 53, everybody needs to know what the shop standards are, because creep sets in all the time. And creep means, we start off where we wanted the counter to be tidy every night, and then, wow, what happened here, right? And I know we all know that, right? So we have to have shop standards. We have to have opening and close checklists. We have to have policies and procedures. We have to have, everything is in place. And we call these like recipe cards. I love saying that, systems are just recipe cards. This is the recipe for opening. This is a recipe for closing. Like, it's not complicated, but it does take energy and time for you to set these up. But one at a time, knock them out one at a time. And we love to be able to provide templates, and we have outlines and guides so that you can get those things going. inside your business. But I want you to think about, are the operations and the systems kind of out of whack right now? When's the last time we actually revisited that and put those, brought that back up to snuff? Because that might be part of why things feel super chaotic in your business at times or in an area. So I know that your business is not chaotic all around, or I hope it's not, but there's always one of these areas that can feel like, like we don't have new customers coming in. Well, that's because our marketing is out of whack. It's just like we're not putting marketing in place, or, I haven't really been stepping up to the plate as the leader lately, or I've been down, or whatever that looks like. So this is part of the ecosystem. And the last part of our ecosystem, and actually I don't even know, I never know which to say is the most important, because I do feel that they're all equally super important. And when we slack off on any part of them, like if we stop paying attention to marketing, or we stop paying attention to the CEO role, or we just slowly stop paying attention to the operations and system role, if we slowly stop, like there's areas of this ecosystem that we're just not focusing on or paying attention to, everything can go out of whack, and things will feel chaotic and out of alignment. And I keep saying out of alignment because sometimes there's just a feeling that things are not right. So the last part of our ecosystem is understanding the money and understanding your financial things, like all the financial things. And this is the one that I will be honest, I find a lot of retailers avoid. I did for a long time. I was very aware of the financial stuff, of how much money was coming in and how big my bills were. Like those two numbers, kind of always knew them, right? But there's so much more. You cannot run a successful retail business, a strong and healthy retail business. You can for a while. I mean, we can do anything for a while, but it just will wear you down if you are not paying attention to the money stuff. So the money stuff and the money end, that's pricing, that's buying, that's your inventory, that's what inventory to buy, when to buy it, how much to buy, understanding where the money is going, what percentage of the revenue is going towards your payroll, what percentage is going to operations, having good bookkeeping, understanding how to read your profit and loss statement and your balance sheet. Like those are things that a lot of retailers kind of know. Maybe they pawn it off to their bookkeeper, and I'm always and forever will tell you that is one of the worst things you can do, is not be in control of your finances. Yes, I want you to have a bookkeeper, but I also want you to be empowered to have conversations with that bookkeeper. I'm not saying to do all the bookkeeping yourself. I'm not saying to be, but I am saying look at your numbers daily, weekly, understand the levers to pull so that things are a lot less chaotic for you. So understanding that we're going to put this product or this line on sale, but with a purpose and intention and the reason that we're putting it on, and we have the margins there, and it just changes everything when you are confident and competent in your numbers. And if you are squirming right now, or if this is just like, Wendy, I don't want to listen to you talk about that, I want you to come back and think about this. Baby steps, just like one little thing. No one is expert at numbers the minute that they start working on it. It's just understanding. Again, this is something that we teach inside. Actually, it's our second module inside our Retailers Inner Circle program. But the front end, of course, we have, as I mentioned earlier, our Retail Made Simple program. And in that whole module 2, it's just about the money, how to read a P&L. And I'm pretty well known at explaining things pretty simply. I break it down. It doesn't have to be complicated. And then we level up, right? So we start with the basics. And then in our monthly playbooks that we give our members, and the playbooks are given out every month, and they are operations, systems, what to look at, what to check, what are your numbers, keeping track of your metrics, and all of these things around these 4 ecosystems. And that is really how you build your competence. You put in the reps, right? You put in the practice, you put in the reps. We get more competent as we get confident, as we put in, we get more confidence as we put in the reps and as we put in the practice day by day. So we are responsible. We are running kick butt businesses. You have an incredible business. If it has been feeling like the reality of what you wanted, or the vision of what you wanted is not matching the reality of what it is in all of the areas, if something feels heavy and hard, it's probably something here in our ecosystem that's off. So again, that's your CEO, under the CEO hat, making sure that that's, all working well. Your marketing strategy, your operations and systems, or maybe on the financial side of things, right? So those are the 4 parts of our ecosystem. And you can't see me right now, but I have my hand going round and round and round because that all has to flow to make things simpler for you, to make things amplify. And that's how businesses find more profitability. And because when things are running smoother and easier, and when all those systems are in place, it's more profitable and it's way more fun. So we always, you've heard me say before, it's joy, freedom, and profitability is what I'm on a mission to share with retailers for your retail success and for your business. So we find that by really thinking about, my hand is still going, by the way. I'm like around and around and around. We have to have the CEO, the marketing, the operations, and the money side in alignment, in check. So I hope this has been helpful for you. My call to action for you today would be to sit down and think about those 4 areas of your business and be honest with yourself. Where do we need to pay a little bit more attention as a store, as a brand? What do we need to pay a little bit more attention to, or where do we need to lean in and get a little more serious maybe about that, or acknowledge that we need to level up our skills as our businesses evolve. Your business is evolving year over year. It's evolving. And, your ecosystem has to evolve from like that little fish tank, as I mentioned, the goldfish in there, into the bigger fish tank, that has all the pumps and all the things going. That's an ecosystem, and so is your business. So I hope this has been helpful for you. So go sit down, have a look through your 4 areas and the skill sets that you might need. And we'll cover a few of the skill sets coming up in the next few episodes. Specific skills that I think that would be really helpful for retailers. If you haven't already, you are cordially invited. People still say cordially anymore? Anyway, you are welcome to join us inside my private coaching group, which is the Retailers Inner Circle program. It is a collective library resources for you, and there is a community component as well too. You can join the community part or not join. Some people are joiner-inners, some people are not. If you want to be around, hang out. If not, you have access still to all of our library and resources. So there's that, and I also do private coaching, and we will be opening up the waitlist very soon for our 2025 mastermind, our Level Up Mastermind group as well. So that's coming up as well too. So thanks for listening, my friends. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you have a fantastic day ahead and a fabulous sales week ahead. And I hope to see you here, same time, same place, next week. Thanks for listening. Oh, don't forget, go leave a review and follow the podcast because it's so helpful to us. And as you know, all those algorithms need you to follow and leave comments and leave reviews, and it helps us find other retailers who may also be looking to turn their vision into reality for their retail business and looking for more joy, freedom, and profitability for theirs. So thank you, my friend. I appreciate you listening. Have a great week. Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm so glad that you were here to join us this week, and I hope you found value in what we're sharing here. I want to remind you that our website has all of the show notes. You can find it at wendybatten.com/podcast. Everything that you need to hear about today's podcast is there. Also an opportunity if you need to reach out to me. If I can support you in any way whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. So thanks for joining us. Please leave a review, subscribe if you can, and never miss an episode. We hope to see you back here again next week. Thanks, my friend. Have a great week.